Yo yo! Welcome to the Last Week in Science, a place where you come for the science, but you stay for my dulcet tones. Yeah, I know. Let's get learning. Like many of you, I have friends that are addicted to caffeine. Coffee is their drug of choice, and nothing can be done until that first cup of coffee is fully finished. I like to think that if coffee shops were the bar cheers, they would be the regulars.
Afternoon, everybody.
A research team from the University of Sussex has found that many plants produce caffeine, which boosts a bee's memory to the location of the flower and gets them addicted. In the experiment, the bees were given two flowers, one that has nectar and the other that has nectar with caffeine. Dr. Margaret Colvian, the leader of this experiment, found that the bees would return more frequently to the artificial flower with the nectar and the caffeine, and that the caffeine made the bees dance more. Most of the time, the bees dance to where the location of nectar is quite calm, but you put a little bit of caffeine in there and their abdomens just get the wagon. The bees in the experiment enjoyed the caffeinated flower so much that they even returned to the feeder after it was empty. Plants with the drugged up nectar seem to have a one-up on the competition when it comes to the pollination Olympics. The more the bees come back, the more plants are pollinated, and the more plant offspring that we'll have. Pretty sneaky, plants. Pretty sneaky. Maybe that's why I see so many bees near the trash outside the Starbucks. Maybe since this is known, coffee shops will start making little bee coffee houses. Hipster bees. Scary. Alright, all you Marty McFly nerds. It seems that the hoverboard of your dreams is on its way. Kinda. RxPax, the company known for wide-ranging magnetic field architecture technology, has just revealed its Hendo 2.0 hoverboard to the world. While it's just in time for the Back to the Future hype, the chances that you will actually be using it the way Marty McFly did are very, very slim. The Hendo 2.0 only works on specifically prepared magnetic surfaces because the Hendo 2.0 only works with magnetic fields. So unless you live in an area that has nothing but specifically prepared magnetic surfaces, then chances are really high you won't be using this thing. Besides that, this collaboration with Tony Hawk makes me really want a re-release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. This time I can take my goofy stance and grind all over the half pipes in my hoverboard. I mean, the gratuitous amounts of falling and the amounts of blood have to be included, of course. Scientists are just one step closer to making pig-to-human transplant organs. One of the complications with transplanting a pig heart into a human right now, although they are genetically similar to us, is the porcine endogenous retrovirus that could infect human cells. Professor George Church and his colleagues have found a technique to get rid of the retrovirus, and that is the CRISPR. The CRISPR technique eliminated 62 copies of the retrovirus from the early embryonic cells of the pig. When checked to see if the modified pig cells would easily pass on the retrovirus to human cells, they didn't, although they still did transmit the retrovirus. This discovery, however, makes a big step in one day being able to give the hundreds of thousands of people who need transplants finally a heart or a kidney or some other type of organ. There's still a long way to go, but one day you or I might be able to say that we were saved by a genetically modified babe. Now, of course, those of you who've read the Matt Adam trilogy by Margaret Atwood already knew that this was coming, and those of you who didn't, just, you know, there's like a tiny little spoiler, like a flea-size spoiler, so all this means is that you now have to go pick up the books and read them. I mean, hopefully you get them from your local library, of course. Everyone's favorite dwarf planet is back in the news. After decades of just looking at Pluto's reddish-brown surface, we have now found that the atmosphere is blue! Now that might seem a little bit strange, since you would think that a red planet would have a red haze atmosphere or one that's transparent like ours. Scientists are attributing the color of the atmosphere to sunlight hitting the particles of a chemical reaction between nitrogen and methane called tholins. Tholins fall from the atmosphere onto the planet. They also create the reddish-brown part, which we now see as the cover of Pluto. So all of the bright red spots are just tholins mixed with the water ice. Just think, the day that humans are actually able to go to Pluto and actually ice skate on top of the ice, it's gonna be crazy red. Lastly, have you seen a cat or a dog move their ears to an interesting sound? Like when someone puts food in their bowl, or when someone opens a packet of cheese, or when someone, you know, grabs the leash so that they can go for a walk. Well, it seems that humans also have those types of muscles in their ears. After years of evolution, our muscles have actually become vestigial, so there's no way that we're going to be moving them around like a dog or a cat does. Steve Hackley of the University of Missouri has reviewed over 60 papers and found that scientists have been studying this muscle more than a century ago. It was found that human subjects could weakly activate the muscle of the posterior wall on the outer ear by looking left and right. It was recorded that subjects would try to move their ears towards things that they wanted to both see and hear, but because the muscle was so weak that nothing even moved. Now, this is definitely sad news for all the kids who watched Dumbo and thought that one day that they might be able to fly. Of course, everything I talked about will be linked in the bottom box. Please visit me at yoscienceisawesome.com or click the link in the bottom box. You can also tweet me at yoscienceis on Twitter. Also, please visit yoscienceisawesome.com where I have a new Science on the Small Screen where I talk about Agent Carter, the new, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, that. I talk about it, and I talk about the science side of it, so you should definitely check it out. So, with that being said, bye, and I'll see you later. Bye.